What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to Wednesday night's late night agenda. As always, I'm your host Craig, and you are all very welcome along to tonight's show. Liverpool have headed off on the pre-season tour of America. We covered that in the bite-sized news bulletin that we did yesterday. Other than that, there are some bits and pieces to go through, but let me just ask how everybody's doing. How is everybody feeling? And I hope you're all doing well. I mean, as always, this is how I like to start the show. It's getting to a point now where we can't say hello to everybody, thankfully, because the channel's gone that big, which is a good complaint. But at the same time, I do miss that little bit of interaction at the start. Right, how are we? Hello, everybody. Everyone's saying hello. How are we? I hope you're all doing well. I'm really good, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I'm getting into holiday mode. I'm getting ready to go. Few days countdown, but yeah, it's all good. And as I said, lots for us to get through. Let me start off with the Echo, who report that Real Sociedad star Mikel Oyarzabal, is that right? Brian, am I okay with that one? Oyarzabal has been urged to follow Xabi Alonso's footsteps and sign for Liverpool. The versatile forward is expected to leave Real Sociedad this summer after helping Spain to win the Under-21 European Championships earlier this summer. Although, look, to be fair, I didn't see any fee mentioned on this, and I'm not really too sure about the guy at all. So, yeah. What do you think, ladies and gentlemen? Is there anything to this? Have you seen this kid? Did you watch him in the Euros? Because I know absolutely nothing about him, and it just seems to be another lazy... yeah, it is a mouthful, you're right. It just seems to be another lazy link, perhaps. I've seen us linked with a few of the Spanish players from the under-21s, but I think we know where this stream is going, ladies and gentlemen. Let's be fair about it. I think I know where it's going. We're going to end up at Coutinho eventually, aren't we, if we're honest with ourselves. That's a mouthful, said Peter van der Shans. It's very difficult to say. And Brian said nowhere near. I think Oyarzabal. I think that's close enough, Brian. I was thinking of Jose Maria Olazabal when I was saying it, but I know how to pronounce that because I've heard it so many times. So let's just call him Mikel at this moment in time. He's lightweight, says Jamal. Thank you, Jamal, because I'm no information on this guy whatsoever. Not seeing the guy, said Scotty. Nice shirt. I have the same one, said Rob. It is for me, mate. I have the Champions League badges on it, but you know, this is an old one because it only has a number 5 on it. And as we all know, six motherfuckers. The Reds have won 6 European Cups, so this is almost null and void, isn't it? Really. What have we got? How am I? I'm very good, thank you, Nageb. I'm really, really good, mate. Can I just repeat the name again? Yeah, Mikel, Stephen, and that's all you're getting out of me, buddy. That's about as far as I'm going with the name pronunciations tonight. Let me just give you guys a quick apology as well for the delayed start in the stream. So, as you know, we've had little technical issues bit by bit, and I want to make sure that this stream is going okay. So, Mr. Morrissey or Mr. Crosby, if you can let me know, thumbs up, that we're no lagging and we're going okay, then that's really good. Tonight we had a few issues. I was recording with Boya earlier on, and the problems were completely at my end, and I had to ditch that recording with Anthony, and I felt so sorry because he gave up his time, and there's just a few little gremlins. So as you can probably understand with a channel, you start off with the internet, you work backwards. So we got the internet, got a new router, grand. Laptop, did a sweep of that, grand. So OBS, we're trying to fix that. Bit by bit, we're trying to tick off things to make sure that the stream goes along and that we don't have any issues. Yes, there you go. Right, so I got worried there. Callum gave thumbs down and I got worried, but everybody else is saying it's okay, so that's good. That's good, thank you. Freaked the shit out of me there, Callum, mate. You freaked the shit out of me. Mickey Zabal, there you go, Connor. Mickey Zabal, that's what we'll call him. Mickey Zabal. Oh, Mickey, you're so fine. Come on, you knew that was coming. You fucking knew that was coming, didn't you, ladies and gentlemen? Can't wait for the cop to come up with some songs for that surname. Do you know what? I would back them to Crosby Red. I'd back them to be able to do it. What have we got? Craig, you're doing a late night agenda on Friday. Will you just carry through to the watch along? I think I probably won't do a late night agenda on Friday, Scotty, because the game is on at 1 a.m. So I think I'll probably just start at about midnight on Friday night into Saturday morning, and we'll just do the watch along of the game. I don't think I'll be able to get through. I'll probably record a bite-sized news thing beforehand, but yeah, I think to be fair, on Friday we will be hosting a watch along of the game first and foremost. So I know it's a 1 a.m. kickoff, but I hope you can all join us for that one. And I've pushed my luck with my wife a little bit. As you know, the Reds are playing late on Sunday night against Sevilla as well over in the States, and I'm leaving my house at 2:30 a.m. to head to the airport, so that game finishes about 1 o'clock. So She let me do a watch along of that one as well, so we can cover Sunday's game as well before I head off. So I know people are going to say, well, should you get some rest? I don't sleep the night before holidays ever, because I'm the type of person that's too scared he'll sleep right through and miss the alarm. So what better way to make sure that I'm up than to do a watch along of the Sevilla game on Sunday as well? Does he dance as well as Oyarzabal? I don't know. Jose Maria Oyarzabal was a pretty damn good golfer, and I've never really watched golf. I just know the name. He's good on FIFA, said Leon. I appreciate that, mate. Thank you. I mean, that's more of a judgment on him than I have. I didn't even watching Spain in the under 21s. I don't remember seeing anything about this kid. Danny Ceballos looks like he could be going to Arsenal, by the way. Have you seen that? There's a possible loan to Arsenal going on there. I hope we can't pronounce Obal. Yeah, there you go. We can't pronounce Obal. That's the one, Will. You've nailed it. 13 goals and 2 assists for We Can't Pronounce Obal this season's a Premier League fan in La Liga. That's decent numbers. Saint Sabrina. Yes, I don't know how she puts up with me, honestly. She's letting us go to Florida as well, so I'm sure all of you guys know that myself and Mr. Crosby, aka Anfield Agenda, the brains behind Anfield Agenda, we're heading off to Florida. We're only gone and done it. We've only gone and booked our flights to Florida, so Anfield Agenda are heading to Florida from the 13th to the 20th of September, and we have reached out to the Tampa Bay Supporters Club, we've reached out to the Orlando Supporters Club, and we're going to hopefully meet up with those two guys for a Champions League game and for the Newcastle game, so really looking forward to that. And as always, if there's any Reds around the Florida area, obviously I know Far Isle, who's probably listening to this on the drive on the way home from work, and we'll be meeting up with Dave and Far Isle over there, of course. But if there's Anna Liz as well, I think is going to come up and meet us. If there's any other Reds around Florida that want to come and meet Connor and myself during that week that we're over there, we'd love to see you. We'd love to meet up with you. And Connor even said he'll get the drinks in. But then I had to remind him that he's only 20 and he can't drink in America yet. The really shitty thing for Mr. Crosby here is, right, so he's 20 years of age. As we know, the legal drinking age in Florida is 21. He's 21 the month after we come back. How bad is that? And the one guy that can drink over there, moi, doesn't fucking drink. So there you go. And he can't even hire the car either because you have to be 25. So per O'Connor, you'll just have to go on a roller coaster or something. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, look, if there's any Reds over in Florida that want to meet up with us, we'd love to meet up with you. Connor would love to buy you a drink even though he can't have one himself. Some people go on vacation and end up staying, to Florida. I'd imagine so. I mean, this is my 6th trip, I think, to Florida, and I love it. I absolutely love it. And I may even drag Connor around a few, we'd call them estate agents. I mean, I don't know what they're called in America, but we might look at some property while we're over there. Just Connor doesn't know that yet, but now he does. First time I'll be supporting Liverpool without buying anyone. Well, we did, Jamal. To be fair, we bought Sepp Vandenberg, mate. I know that's not, the business that we'd all hope for in this window, but the window isn't finished just yet. Say Connor is 37. Mate, believe it or not, they ID me and Sabrina. I went up to the bar to get Sabrina a cocktail when we were over there before, and they ID'd me, they ID'd her, and I definitely think I look over 21. So yeah, it's Realtors, there you go. That's the one, Brian. Take Connor to NASA to fulfill his dream of space camp. You probably think I'm lying, but Mr. Crosby has bought himself a NASA hat already. And a NASA t-shirt. And if you think I'm lying, ask him. I'm not. Anyway, you didn't come here to talk about Liverpool. Well, you did come here to talk about Liverpool. You didn't come here to talk about Anfield Agenda going to Florida. I just wanted to bring it up in case there's anybody who wants to come up for that game and meet us in Tampa Bay or meet us in Orlando. The offer's open. The offer's there. And I'm sure we'll talk about it a bit more as it gets closer. Look, me and Stevie Nicol don't agree on much these days. As you've seen, many times I've come on here and I've spoke about Steve Nicol's views on Liverpool, and I've thought that they've been a bit harsh, but something has come up today that perhaps we might just agree on. So Steve Nicol has joined in the Philippe Coutinho debate, and he believes the club should go out and sign him. Speaking about it, he said Philippe Coutinho could play anywhere, where he played on the left as part of a front three, but he also did a stint in the middle as well. He's already shown in the Premier League that he can work with both these positions. What you're trying to do is consistently bring in players that not only make the squad better, but make everybody in your starting 11 better. And as I said, finally there might be something here that myself and Steve Nicol agree on. Now the only thing about Coutinho for me is the value in it. I don't know. No, I don't know if he's coming or not. I mean, I guess we're going to have to wait and see. But I was talking to Boyer earlier on and he made a really good point, and it's something that Connor said to me as well, and something I'm sure you guys have spoken about. let's look at this from a point of view of Jurgen Klopp comes into Liverpool and Coutinho wasn't there. Is he the type of player that Jurgen Klopp would go and buy? Is he the type of player that would fit into a Jurgen Klopp system? As much as we all might want him back, and I'm getting to the point now where if he came back, I'd probably be fairly happy about it. Where does he fit in? Does he just drop into that left-hand side? Will he press enough? Will perhaps temptation be there if he does come back to just start giving him the ball again and saying, hey Coutinho, go and do something? Because that's what was happening before. And when we seen Coutinho leave, then we seen Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain and other players step up. So again, I know we're going around in circles here, ladies and gents, and I know you're probably sick of talking about Philippe Coutinho, but I would like to know your thoughts on what you think is happening here. We'd seen, what I'd read is that there was an offer that went into Paris Saint-Germain for Ivan Rakitic, Philippe Coutinho and 40 million for Neymar, which was immediately rebuffed apparently from PSG. We've also seen Neymar's agent Kia Joorabchian come out and say that they're getting mixed signals from the club. One minute they're being told that Philippe Coutinho's future is at Barcelona, and then another minute they're hearing from people who are close to the club that he's been touted around to other clubs. So from an agent's perspective and a player's perspective, that's not what they want to be hearing. So he went on to say in the interview that I heard that Coutinho still has obviously an affinity with Liverpool and that he was looking out for them last season and he was delighted that they did well and yada yada yada. And it just seemed to me I wonder if Kia Joorabchian is starting to lay the groundwork here, perhaps. And again, I'd love to know what you guys think about it. Craig, did you see the Huddersfield jersey? I don't think that's... My thoughts on the Huddersfield shirt are that it is a publicity stunt by Paddy Power. Now, obviously, Paddy Power could well or probably are their new sponsors, but from a few tweets I've read from people far more educated than I in these matters, they seem to say that that is illegal, the size of the publicity branding or whatever you want to call it on there, that there is a set size that football clubs have to adhere to with regards to their sponsors, and that this one clearly goes past that. So it looks like it's just another Paddy Power publicity stunt, and you'll probably get a much shrunk down version of their logo at some point. But then again, I could be wrong, and I could be just being very cynical on this, and the person that I've read about could have got the rules wrong. So again, let me know your take on that. If you don't know what I'm talking about, you don't know what Ella mentioned there, because Ella put it in the chat, Google Huddersfield jersey for this season and you'll see it is a big diagonal stripe from like top to bottom with Paddy Power wrote on it. It looks like somebody's just won a Miss World pageant or something like that, or somebody's gone on a stag or hen do. Aidan said, I'd like a loan deal for Coutinho. On that one though, it is interesting, ladies and gents, because on the Coutinho situation, if you're Barcelona, are you going to let him go on loan for 2 years? Because he's going to be 29 then, and unless the loan deal has an obligation to buy at the end of it and not an opportunity to buy, you want the club tied in to have to buy him. You'll take back a player then whose value will have massively decreased because he's gotten older. Now look, the market might have caught up as well, so his value may be okay, but it would be a very risky strategy for me for Barcelona to loan out Philippe Coutinho, and I would be shocked if it happened. I really would. Not without that deal to buy at the end of it. Peter O'Neill said Neymar scored 34 goals in 36 games. He's an amazing player, crap person. Look, you don't even want to get me started on Neymar, Peter, because I just don't like the guy one bit, not at all, and I think he's a diva. And look, I'm not going to go over it again. It will be interesting though to see what happens. Take him back, he's a snake, but life's too short, Craig, and he's a boss player, said Paul Dunning. What else we got? Wouldn't take Coutinho or Suarez back, said Peter van der Shans. I wouldn't take Suarez back, Peter, because of his age. I think he's just too old now. Huddersfield new kit was on the official Insta account. Oh look, the kit has absolutely been pushed out by Huddersfield, mate. It's been on all their official accounts. I just still feel like it's a publicity stunt, and that when the season starts they won't be wearing that kit because I don't think that the league rules allow it. Jonathan said, I work in Paddy Power, it's a stunt, trust me. If you work in Paddy Power, Jonathan, will you tell them to get in contact with us for fuck's sake? Because Irish Liverpool channel, I mean, do you know what I mean? Us and Paddy Power, we'd go hand in hand. No to Coutinho, let him rot at Barcelona, said John Allen. Who knows, said Mossy. Mario Goico was one of his favourite players and also a number 10, said Jamal Thompson. A player who had, I believe, turned us down a while ago. Yeah, I don't know. I'd rather Coutinho than him personally. Take him back on loan, be good to have an option to have on the bench, said John Redmond. Neymar's an asshole, said Kev. How much do Barca still owe us for Coutinho? I believe, Rob, it's around 88 million, something around that mark. Now, when we say how much do Barcelona still owe us, it's not as simple as us saying just cancel that. It is real money. It does exist. It is money that we will have in our books as an income coming in. So we can't. It's not like we can just write it off and pretend like it didn't happen. It would still cost us 88 million if that was how much he came back for. Quick recap. We've only just started, mate. No need for recaps. We're only like 10-15 minutes into the show. Crosby Red said, I'm with you. Mess up Barcelona's finances with his wages not being able to shift them on. Andrew Gold said no sound. Well, mate, everybody else seems to be okay with the sound, so it must be at your end, buddy. Is everybody else, again, okay with the sound? No issues with the sound, anything like that? Somebody had a problem there, but I imagine if there was an issue, then there'd be more people complaining about it, so I gather the sound's okay. Coutinho price 88 million. Other people are saying that they have sound. Yeah, so yeah, look, it must be just something at your end, mate. Maybe just refresh it or check your settings. I'm not a very technically minded person, sorry. So when are Barca supposed to pay us the 88 million? The honest answer for me there, Kev, is I don't know, pal. I don't know what way that deal was structured. I don't know when the repayment schedule was. I honestly have no idea. Coutinho so far is 124 million, so 88 million owed. Only paid 46 million so far, said Dean Dixon. Thank you for that one, pal. Sound is perfect. Brilliant. Thank you, everybody. I'm very paranoid about stuff like that now, so I don't know. Maybe this gentleman was genuinely having an issue, or maybe it was just on a wind-up. But either way, I tip my hat to you, sir. Jamal said, sorry for being negative, but I think our squad might be a little thin. Do you know what, mate? It's a fan forum, buddy, and you're absolutely entitled to your opinion, and you've gone about it in a very fair way. I mean, you haven't just come in and bitched and moaned. I agree. I would like to see us go and add an attacker in, Jamal, and I think I'm hoping, maybe beyond hope at this point, but I am hoping that we get something done. What's everybody else feeling like? Do we think that there's something in this window for Liverpool, or do we think that we're going into the season as we are and let's just see how we get on? If you don't sign anybody, do you think we'll still do well? Yes, I honestly do. That much I will say, FA. And now I do want us to sign somebody. I've got to be honest about that. But I think if we go into the season with what we have, I still expect us to be challenging and doing really well. I mean, we have a deep enough squad. It is a squad that could be improved, I'm not going to lie, but we still have a very, very good squad. It's just a front three for me. Midfield, I think we've got enough. Defensively, yeah, look, we would all like a bit of cover at full back, but if Kleiny was to stay as an example, then, you know, I'd be alright with that. From a defensive standpoint, I just think it's the front three. If something were to happen to one or two of the front three, and then putting that much pressure on Brewster and having Origi coming in, I don't know, ladies and gentlemen, it would just worry me. I'm so glad I got over that Real Sociedad player's name again that I can't pronounce it all, because yeah, I'm reading through that, I was thinking, oh Jesus, no, I'm not looking forward to that. Got a feeling the Coutinho news is just a smokescreen and Klopp will surprise us all in a few weeks, said Peter van der Schans. Interesting. Twitter saying important news at 10:30. Well, that's when the news, Elizabeth, that's when the newspaper headlines come out every night for the next day, so it's probably something around that one. But look, we are a live stream, so people are watching this back. I love the 10:30 news. So if you're watching this back and something does develop, you know, bear with us, because if something's wrong, it might be just a Twitter account. But I would love you guys to keep me up to date with what does go on, because we will be going to about 11:15 or so. So yeah, please do keep me up to date. What have we got? As you can see, by the way, ladies and gents, we're only about 10 subscribers away from 18,300. So if you're watching and you're enjoying the stream, as always, it's a pleasure to have you with us. But please do hit that subscribe button and drop a like on the stream as well. And I want to just take a second as well to say congratulations to Mark Goldbridge, to Rants, to the United Stand and everybody associated with them, because the guys over there have hit 500,000 subscribers, which, you know, is testament to the hard work that they put into the channel over there. And look, I know we're Liverpool fans and we love to take the piss out of United, and that will continue forever because they are the antichrist to us. But as a content maker, as a content provider, Mark, Rants and everybody else over there, I just want to say a massive congratulations to them on hitting 500,000 subscribers, because that is a huge achievement. So well done to everybody involved over there from all of us over here at Anfield Agenda. I think Klopp will be looking at youngsters and decide if we'll be okay. So Cookie. We got Big Shaq. Did you see, actually, we spoke yesterday on the news show that a couple of people were reporting there was a falling out. I think it was somebody from ESPN reported that there was apparently a falling out between Jurgen Klopp and Shaqiri at some point last season, and that may have been some of the reason behind his lack of playing time. I don't know what you think about that. Man with the plan said a few weeks, we can't wait that long. Who's the person next to Coutinho in the thumbnail? He's the player from Real Sociedad. The I can't pronounceable is what we're calling him. Mikel I can't pronounceable is his name. Excuse me, had to clear my throat. Boya, there is Boya back in. As I said, I want to apologise again to Anthony for earlier on. I had to get Connor on when I got off the recording session with Anthony, and I had to get Connor to go through my computer and just make sure that we could even get this stream on tonight. So I do owe a massive apology to LCFC Boya there. And look, if you guys want to do me a favour, do go over and check out and subscribe to Anthony's channel, because as I say, we're a football community on here, and we've been blessed that we've had fans from all clubs come in and say hello to us during the season. So if you're a fan of football content, you can't do much better than our good friend Anthony over there at LCFC Boya. Congratulations to Goldbridge. Don't ask. Absolutely, yeah. You have to say, like, that is a massive, massive achievement. Have I heard anything about the under-21 England midfielder Maddison? I don't think he will be leaving Leicester this summer, George. I don't think he's definitely a player we need to keep an eye on, and he's a player that will continue to develop and do really well, and a player that I like the look of. Funnily enough, I did speak to Anthony about that in our ill-fated recording session earlier on, but I just think for him, another year at Leicester would do him no harm whatsoever. Klopp said he knows he doesn't play Shaqiri enough. He's a gaming guy. I think from the end of last season as well, when I read something with Klopp that said that Shaqiri and Origi were still developing and that there's definitely still a place for them. I remember reading something along those lines as well. What else we got here? You pronounce the Z as an S in Spanish. Oh, don't even, mate. You know me and pronunciations it this way. I mean, come on. I'm not even going to have a go anymore. I'm going to start a campaign that we sign only English players so I can pronounce their names. Why are we all chatting about Coutinho? Well, Oisin, because the name's still in the news, mate, and there's not really much else other than the pre-season tour and a few other bits and pieces, but until something happens with Coutinho, i.e. Barcelona say unequivocally he's staying there, or he goes to Paris Saint-Germain, it is going to be a topic that's going to be mentioned by Liverpool fans, because there's new articles popping out every day, mate, linking him back to the club. Now, I get where you're coming from, and you probably don't want him back near the club, and you probably think it's not going to happen, and I respect your view on that, but that is why we're having a chat about him. Is there a Russian player linked to Liverpool? I hope not. There is, though, Jessica. I'm only saying I hope not because of the pronunciation. There was a Spartak Moscow forward that we spoke about the other day. I think he scored 20 goals in the Russian, is it First Division or Premier Division, and won the Golden Boot there. 20 million, I can't even think of the guy's name at the minute because I don't have my notes from that stream in front of me. But if I remember correctly, 20 million was a link to that player. And was it Cheval or something along those lines? If I remember correctly, something like that. Subi said, Craig, do you think Coutinho deserves a second chance? It isn't really for me to decide, Subi. It's up to the manager. If Jurgen Klopp feels that he can do a job and that it works out for the club financially, then you know what I mean. I'm absolutely happy to have him back. If Jurgen Klopp doesn't want him or has no intention, then I'm sound about that as well. PBD said, Craig, Tifo Football has a great sensible transfer series and they agree with you about Fekir. I'm glad somebody agrees with me, which is always good news. Yeah, I'm not sure which part you mean that they agree with me about, but I'll give you both aspects of it. I also think he can do better than Real Betis. I think he can do better than Sevilla. I think it's a sideways step, maybe a little step forward in Sevilla's case from Lyon. But yeah, as I keep saying, for the price point of around 28 million quid, 30 million euro, I mean, I would still like to see Liverpool roll the dice there on Nabil Fekir. Can I be part of your podcast, Craig? We've got loads of contributors, mate, and it kind of like to stick to people who I've known I've worked with before at the moment. But as we continue to grow, yeah, I mean, I'll tell you what we can do, Nicolas. We can definitely get you on for a post-match call-in after at a game during the season, if that's okay, and see how that goes. Fedor Chalov, thank you very much, Sarabia and Happily Eggs. That was the gentleman we were speaking about. Tonic said it's only pre-season, but Brewster looks sharp. Not just the goals, the passing and the movement. I'm falling in love with that guy more and more. I mean, I've been bigging him up for a while, but I just think there's something super, super special. As we keep saying, the phrase generational talent is something that I'm probably going to keep banging on about with Ryan Brewster, but I really do think that the guy looks the business and we have a serious player on our hands there. Quasimodo is going to play the game in Notre Dame. See, Quasimodo I can pronounce, Stephen. So I mean, I've heard enough about Quasimodo to know about it. Coutinho's a failed signing, nothing to do with us now. Sorry, he wanted to go, remember, said don't ask. What if... I mean, I suppose we're almost at a point where we're saying, if it isn't Coutinho, is it going to be anybody? Or would it be anybody? And I don't know, is the honest answer. We've all been hoping that Jurgen Klopp pulled a Fabinho-esque style transfer out of his hat, but as of yet, not really many links. I will move on to Nicolas Pepe in a minute because I have a little bit on him as well, although it's probably not what people want to hear. But the Echo also reported that Barcelona have reportedly had a bid for Neymar rejected by Paris Saint-Germain, which would have seen former Liverpool player Philippe Coutinho and Ivan Rakitic move the other way. L'Equipe report Barcelona offered the duo plus £40 million for their former forward, who is desperate to return to the Nou Camp. So there you go. We know Neymar wants his move. I don't think deep down Coutinho wants to play at PSG. I think if he ends up there, it will be because of a lack of other options. But what I've also read is that Paris Saint-Germain have just said no to this. I think they put a price on Neymar that is, it was something ridiculous, like €300 million, something along those lines, which he's not worth, quite frankly. He just isn't. What's the verdict on Coutinho, asks Brandon. I think it's split, mate. I genuinely do think it's split. I will lead back to a vote that I seen in the Echo the other day. I think 64% of Liverpool fans who were given three choices for this. Take Coutinho back, don't take him back, or aren't sure. 64% at the time that I'd looked at it, and I think I'd had over 3,000 votes at that point, had said yes, take him back, or they would take him back. Papandu said, I think Liverpool are a better team without Coutinho. I get where you're coming from, and I think it's fair to say we've absolutely improved since Coutinho left, and whether that's the Coutinho money that helped us improve, I think we can say that probably as well. Van Dijk came in, Keita came in, then we had Fabinho come in, and whilst you can't associate all of those moves with the Coutinho money, you can probably say that a large chunk of it probably went there. There's a reason Fekir's off the Betis. Top clubs clearly don't think he's good enough or believe his knee will cause him to drop off. I know Brian Morrissey has his own opinion on this, and he said to me that he believes if Fekir does go on to Betis, it'll be because Betis want him to come prove himself and flip him for a serious profit in a season or two, which I can understand that as well. Yeah, I suppose whilst none of us know the extent of his knee or his possible knee problems, it's all we can do is speculate. All I can really judge him off is the player that I've seen. And from a playing perspective, I think he could offer something to Liverpool. But obviously, if the medical isn't up to it, then there isn't even a discussion to be had, really. Liam Hunter said, what do you think about Trippier to Atletico? Well, firstly, from his point of view, well done on taking the move. I mean, it's Atletico are a huge club, in fairness, but to take that move abroad, not a lot of English or British-based players do that, so well done to him for that. I don't rate Kieran Trippier, if I'm being honest. 21 million, I think Atletico paid for him, and I believe Spurs were offered Correa as part of the deal, and they turned that down, so interesting. But yeah, fair play to him for making the move. There's a reason for Fekir. I've done that one. Oh yes, Pepe. I did say I wanted to have a little chat around Pepe. So according to reports in France, Liverpool, Arsenal, Atletico Madrid and Inter Milan have all made offers for Lille forward Nicolas Pepe. But then, of course, I'm going to read out the next line, which said, and I've taken this from the Echo, the Echo still suggests Liverpool have no genuine interest in signing him. I haven't got a clue on Nicolas Pepe. I mean, on the whether we do want him or not. I'm sure I kind of believe that we've at least looked at him, and I kind of believe that we've probably had broad-ranging discussions, or at least touched base with his representatives. I just think there's too much to it for us not to have ever held any interest or even looked at him. Now, we keep going back to Melissa Reddy saying that Liverpool phoned to say that they'd no interest, but then we've seen the British media either just get things wrong in recent transfer windows or be briefed by the club that nothing is happening, and then foreign journalists have got things right. I mean, I'm thinking back to the Fabinho transfer. I think was broken by a continental journalist, Nabi Keita. Of course, we all know Sega was one of the first people to talk about that, and by Sega I don't mean like Sega, I don't mean that, although that's probably going to get a copyright strike now just for singing that phrase. Yeah, I mean a gentleman called Sega. We've got Oxlade-Chamberlain, said Nima. We absolutely do, and I love Oxlade-Chamberlain. Is Eriksen in the last year of his contract? Yes, he is. I think he's hanging off, to see what's happening with Madrid and a few other bits and pieces. He said that he turned down any interest by United, or at least it was briefed that when United inquired, Eriksen said he wasn't interested. I suppose he's kind of in a decent position, isn't he? Because if a move doesn't appear from this summer with terms that himself and Spurs are happy with, he knows he can either sign a contract extension at Spurs or head off for free next season. Even, I suppose, in January, technically, he can sign a pre-contract agreement with a club outside of England. Crosby Red said, if we do sign Coutinho, I hope we pay less than 70 million and make him start on the same wages as Keita. I remember I pulled up something today from Twitter that I knew I wasn't imagining this. I said on something recently, I can't remember if it was the pod with Cash and Jace or what it was, but I did say that I believe Philippe Coutinho either sacrificed wages or some of his own money to make that deal happen. And the article that I'd read today suggested it was 11 million of his own money Philippe Coutinho put towards that deal with Barcelona. Now, by saying that, I don't know if that's money he sacrificed in wages or bonuses or what it was, but definitely the figure of 11 million was mentioned that it cost him for that move. Thank you, Ben. Ben said he just subbed on his other account. Appreciate that, mate. We're getting closer to 18,300, guys, so please do keep subscribing if you're enjoying the content. Pepe's average at best, don't want them, said John Allen. Brewster the Rooster. I guess the first time I've heard that one said. Sega Diallo. Thank you, Connor. Pepe was awful at the African Cup of Nations for the Ivory Coast. Am I right to say that he was starting off the bench for a few of those games as well? Now, I'm not going to claim to have watched every Ivory Coast game, but I remember flicking back through live score to see who was playing, and I was sure he was on the bench for a few of the games. Shea Trainer said, get Ziyech and Firpo for a total of 70 million would be some business. I could say Firpo. See, that's definitely a name I could say. And how cool is it to say Junior Firpo? I mean, it is fun to say him. Us and Barcelona seem to be the two clubs mainly linked with a move for wing-back, I suppose, is the fairest way of describing Junior Firpo. And I think his buyout clause is 45 million euro or something like that. And I don't know if Liverpool will pay that or if we have a genuine interest. Again, because we don't know. That's the thing about this window, is we just don't know. Other clubs are looking at their players. Like, let's look at United here. It's easy for United to say, or United fans to talk about Maguire because they know they're interested in Maguire. They can look at Longstaff and know that they're interested in Longstaff. We don't really have a clue as Liverpool fans who, if anybody, were hoping to get in this window, which makes it very interesting and frustrating at the same time. Bernadette Farrell said, Klopp has built such a tight team spirit with the players give everything for the team. I'm not sure Coutinho would fit that model now. He's more for himself than for the team. Dean Dixon said, Mason Greenwood, great player. I saw him play for the under-18s at United last season. Looked head and shoulders above all. I think Brewster is just a tad ahead. Now, I know Mark rates Greenwood very highly if I remember correctly, but Brewster, for me, man, Brewster is just sensational talent. And I don't want to compare him to Mason Greenwood because that, quite frankly, isn't fair of me to do that. They're two young players making their way in their career, but yeah, I think we have a great player on our hands here with Ryan Brewster. And as you've seen, 3 goals in his first 2 pre-season friendlies, and that was only basically in a total of 90 minutes of football as well, because he only played the first half in both games. Don't ask said the English journals are bought and paid for you know who. I struggle with that, to be honest, a little bit, because I get where you're coming from. I absolutely get where you're coming from, and I do understand that they do get briefed, but to say that they're bought and paid for really does go into a grey area where you're starting to question journalists' integrity, and I don't like to do that. I honestly like to give everybody the benefit of the doubt and believe that they write what they believe to be true, because I'm sure that's what they get into it for. They get into it for a love of writing, and in sports journalist case, obviously for a love of sport as well. So I would find it very hard I'm talking about, the British based journalists that we know about here, the Paul Joyces, the Melissa Reddys, the James Pearce, the Chris Bascombs of this world. I would never question any of their integrity, because it's not my place to do so. Brendan Smith said, is it true we bid for Fernandes? If so, why do you think he's more than likely to go to United than Liverpool? I think you've sort of answered the question yourself a little bit there, Brendan. If we bid for Fernandes, he will come to Liverpool. And here's a couple of reasons why. We heard him speaking earlier on in the window about the fact that he preferred Liverpool's style of play over Manchester City's with regard to suiting him and the way he played. Now, obviously Liverpool are going to be a more attractive club at this moment in time than Manchester United, unless the pitch was by United that, hey look, we can definitely guarantee you playing time, we can guarantee you minutes, we can pay you a high wage. I don't know. But I really do believe if we really wanted Bruno Fernandes, we would have gotten Bruno Fernandes, because we're talking about a fee around 50 million, let's just say somewhere around that, and that's definitely a number we can afford. So I don't think it would have dragged out this long if Liverpool held a real genuine interest in Bruno Fernandes. And I'm not saying we haven't looked at him, but I just think if we wanted him, we'd have got him. Did you see a deleted tweet with the transfer arrows? It's going to be an announcement of a signing. No, but I did see, I don't know if this is what you're talking about, Callum. Liverpool deleted their pin tweet, which I think they've done before the announcement of a signing on previous occasions. I don't know if that's what you're talking about, mate. Now, a couple of people are wondering if it's something big. A couple of people are saying, hey, maybe this is the Harvey Elliott kid that we're bringing in from Fulham. I don't know, is the honest answer. But we're getting closer to the 10:30 point where the journals get their news out. So I'm going to keep an eye on the chat here and see if anybody has anything popping up. Coutinho would make us stronger. Anybody who says otherwise is probably serving their own agenda, said Craig Challoner. Look, if it comes down to a point where we're sitting here and we say, would Philippe Coutinho improve Liverpool's squad? If you say no to that, like Craig Challoner has just said there, you're fooling yourself. Now, whether you don't want him back is another thing, but if we're just looking at the point of view of whether he would improve our squad, of course he would. He'd improve any squad in the world. Whether he's a starting 11 player or not, that's another conversation, but bringing him in would absolutely strengthen us in an area of the pitch that we need strengthening in my opinion. And I'm talking about squad depth here. Our first 11 is as good as anybody's. Danny Rose to Liverpool, pass, and pass again, from my point of view anyway. No, I don't rate Danny Rose. Brian Morris said Danny Rose is leaving Spurs. Pretty sure he didn't go on tour. And then Nageb said Danny Rose to Liverpool. I don't like Danny Rose. I don't think he's good enough for Liverpool. And if Spurs are willing to get rid of him, yeah, for me that would be a no. But it's all about opinions, I suppose, isn't it, mate? And you are entitled to yours, and this is why it's fun to come on here and have these debates. Who Knew 22 said another player linked with Liverpool on top of Fernandes, Fekir, Asensio, Pepe, Depay, Coutinho, and now I can't pronounce a ball. Yeah, another one. And there was some more, mate, who I didn't even cover during this transfer window because, quite frankly, I just didn't believe them. There was another, I think at least one more kid from the under-21 Spanish team who was linked to us as well. Gaming Guy said Danny Rose attitude stinks. Now, I don't know about his attitude. I would be just guessing. I suppose Spurs fans are probably the ones to talk to there. They would have watched more. Mignolet. We were talking about backup goalkeepers and we were talking about the future of Simon Mignolet. His agent has apparently said his client is still seeking a summer transfer away from the Reds, despite Jurgen Klopp coming out and saying that he believes Mignolet will be staying at the club after the transfer window shuts. This is interesting because I don't know about you guys, I can only ever really speak for myself on this, but I'm sound about having him as a backup goalkeeper. I think it's grand, yeah, no problem whatsoever. If he wants to move on, and he really wants to move on, If Jurgen Klopp can bring in a replacement, I would also say that it's probably fair to allow Simon Mignolet to move on, because he's a goalkeeper and he's a footballer that wants to play. And if he wants to play, and I think he's 30, 31 years of age, I mean, I would find it very, very hard of us not to move him on if we could replace him. But I'm also absolutely sound about him staying. And we have come out and seen Jurgen Klopp say that he believes he'll be here when the window closes. What's your take on this, ladies and gents? What have you been reading or seeing about Simon Mignolet, and what are your thoughts on a possible backup goalkeeper if he does go? I know Andy Lonergan has gone on the US tour with the Reds, but I think that's just for training purposes. He's definitely not signing a contract. I think he's just over there to work with the other goalkeepers and stuff in training, and to just, provide, I don't want to say friendship because that just sounds really weird, but just somebody for Mignolet to bounce off and that in training, I think. How much is Harvey Elliott costing? Nobody knows yet, because that will be determined by a tribunal, because he is he's a young lad who was trained and educated at Fulham, so Liverpool are getting him on schoolboy terms, or to use an old phrase, schoolboy terms. But there will be a tribunal if the two clubs can't agree a fee to cover his training costs and his footballing educational costs and stuff like that. So just to bring you an example of it, Danny Ings, although a lot further along in his development at the time, Liverpool and Burnley just couldn't agree a fee. So that went to a tribunal, and I think the fee for that was like 8.5 million or something. So the short answer is, don't ask. That this will be determined by a tribunal, and heaven knows what the fee will be. I can't imagine it'll be massive though. How are you, Liam? Welcome in, buddy. Said sorry it was late tonight. What are we talking about? A little bit of everything, mate. A little bit of Coutinho, a little bit of transfer speculation, a little bit about Mignolet. Papandu said, suppose Coutinho did return, where would he fit in? Now that's a fair question, mate. Where would he fit in? Does he walk into our starting 11? I suppose it depends on the opposition, doesn't it? And it depends on the system. I mean, I don't see Jurgen Klopp shaking up his entire system just to fit in Philippe Coutinho. Do you perhaps play, let's say, Henderson and Fabinho, and then have somebody like an Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain, a Philippe Coutinho, or a Naby Keita in the front of the midfield? Or does he go on the left hand side and rest, say, Sadio Mane, or does he go out and you rest Mo Salah and you move Sadio over there and you play him on the left hand side? That's the only thing I can really think of. I don't think he deserves to walk back into a starting 11. And particularly our starting 11. I just don't think that he deserves that. I think he'd have to prove that. Do you have a second team? Mine plays Norway level 5, said Rabadam. No, do you know what? But at Barcelona, I've said this before, mate, but when I was a child, my first ever shirt, and because I was on holidays in Spain when I was like 5, 6, 7 and stuff, Barcelona were probably the first club I ever really came across or got to know about. So I've always had an affinity with Barcelona, but nowhere near as strong as obviously as my love for Liverpool, because that's just, there's no comparison. But probably would be Barcelona would be the second club, which I can promise you I felt fucking no sympathy when we smacked them 4-0 at Anfield. Nothing. I felt actually more disdain towards the way their players acted at the new camp when we played them over there. Suarez antics, so probably Barca, but even at that, mate, it's a long way back from where I feel about Liverpool. But I do appreciate the super chat, Rabadam, and I do appreciate the questions as always, mate. Thank you. Still get freaked out by super chats. It just pops up. See, I have a few screens open, and the super chat screen I have separate so I can see if one comes in, because it's only fair you read it out. So when it pops up, it still freaks the shit out of me. Brian Morris, he said Diaz, the young Spanish centre back, has also been linked. There was a guy, wasn't there a Spanish under 21 whose name began with O? His surname began with O, I think. Oyaz or something like that. Wasn't he linked? Craig, do you know if there's any interest in Coutinho from us? I don't, Russ, is the honest answer, mate. I think we've all been trying to figure that out now for a couple of weeks, and until either Kia Jarabshin says something, Barca says something, we've seen the videos with Bobby Firmino and Coutinho partying together, shall we say, but they are friends and they are national teammates, so it's easy for us to say it's Agent Bobby again, like he did with other transfers, like he perhaps did with Fabinho, like he did with Alisson Becker maybe. I don't know, I hope it is, but I don't know is the honest answer, mate. Have you seen the link with a Turkish goalkeeper? I did. I seen something pop up earlier on. I didn't read too much into it at the time because I hadn't really got much time. But I did see something pop up earlier on, yes. I can't remember the guy's name though. Stevie Richards wants to talk about the deal with EA Sports. I do have that on my notes, mate, so we're 1 second. So the club have signed a new partnership agreement with EA Sports, and they will now become the club's official football simulation game partner, because everybody needs an official football simulation game partner. I mean, we do know that Peter Moore did work with EA Sports. I think he was part of the people that brought in this whole in-app or in-game purchases thing with EA Sports. Ahead of the launch of FIFA 20, the partnership will see both parties working together to create content specifically for Reds to enjoy across the club's social channels. That's the line that's come out from the club. I'm not a gamer personally. I know we were, if my memory serves correct, we were associated with Pro Evo and now EA Sports FIFA, which is better. I think it was always the better of the two games than I could remember when I did play anyway. So yeah, the club have signed that new partnership agreement with EA Sports, and as I said, they will now become the club's official football simulation game partner. So yeah, why not? If you're a gamer, you're probably happy about this. I'm sure most people play FIFA over Pro Evo, but do you know what? I could be out of touch. I could be completely wrong on that one as well. But the more money the club can bring in, the more of these commercial partnerships and stuff we can generate, the better. And stuff like this doesn't really interfere with us as fans, or it doesn't interfere with the running of the club and stuff like that. So I'm all for these type of deals, really. The more money we can bring in, the better. Mortem said, "Hi Craig, we are finally, albeit loosely, linked to making a concrete inquiry about Ziyech. Wow, I haven't seen this. He's pretty much the only player other than Mbappe I'd want us to get." Morton, where was this coming up, Morton, buddy? I'm not saying it's not true, but I genuinely would love to know so we could go and have a read of it. Andrew Gold said, "Craig, I got the last bite-sized agenda video but didn't get the full-length stream. I can't always watch the streams live." This is why we do the bite-sized ones, mate, because we want to give people just a shorter take on what we talk about, and sometimes we won't do both each day. Sometimes it may be one, sometimes it may be the other. Always the live stream, we'll try and do the longer streams ahead of that one, but where we can, we try to do the shorter one as well, because it's gone down quite well, I think, with people so far that just want a little bit of Liverpool news, and we do listen to feedback, as I've always said. So yeah, it's something that we're going to carry on doing going forward, and I'm glad, mate, that you enjoy the content, and thank you so much for watching. Ryan Newman said, "I hope Liverpool win the UEFA Super Cup." So do I. Yeah, I do. And I think we will, mate. I really do. I think we're better side than Chelsea, to be fair. Craig Robbo's had a hand operation, but he'll be fine. Yeah, he did. He got I think he got an insect bite or something on holidays that got infected, and he had to have a little operation on it, or a little procedure on it. But yeah, he will be fine. Did you see the video, by the way, of Virgil van Dijk gone around lashing the sun lotion on everybody, and it was spray, by the way. He wasn't going around massaging people up, he was just going around spraying it. What else have we got? FIFA's miles better, said Boya. FIFA, Juve not in it because they've signed for Coman. Is it Komani or whatever? Yeah, they've signed with EA or something, isn't it? So they're rebranded on FIFA as something else. Hello, Clarky Sinkus. I'm very good, thank you, mate. Pro Evo is better, said David Newell. See, there you go. I've even divided you on this. I need to have a little drink. My voice is getting croaky. Right, what else we got? Craig, does that mean our players will be booked for a simulation? Oh, bum. Taxi for Mr. Richards. Lens-based media said the best Irish player who's ever played for Liverpool, Ronnie Whelan for him. It's a good question, mate. Whelan's definitely a very good show. Do you know what? I don't know if he's the best. In fact, I'd probably say he isn't the best. But one of my favourites has to be Steve Finnan. I really just... I loved having Steve Finnan. He was so consistent. I remember looking at United and just seeing that when United had Irwin there, just going, he's Mr. Consistency. We could do it, one of them. And I know that Irwin was at left back and that Finnan was at right back, but when we got him, we had our Mr. Consistency, and I really enjoyed Steve Finnan being at Liverpool. So I get where you're coming from with Whelan, and technically you're probably right. It's a really good shout, but I don't know. I just really enjoyed Steve Finnan. Hope the January window looks promising. I don't know. I suppose it all depends how we do. I mean, we're sitting here now and maybe we're all a little bit frustrated that we haven't really done much in the window apart from Sepp Berg and maybe Harvey Elliott, but it all goes down to how the season goes. And if we're top of the table at Christmas and we're doing well in Europe and we're still in the domestic cups, then we'll probably sit back here and go, do you know what, maybe the manager was right. And I think that's what it's all about. We just have to trust that Jurgen Klopp knows what he's doing. And surely to God he's earned our trust. Even though there are a few little bits and pieces that suggest we could probably tweak here or strengthen there. That he's got my trust. That's one thing I'll say about this. He's definitely got my trust. He's earned it at this rate. John Redmond said Redmen News were talking about Ziyech. Okay, perfect. Does anybody know though where the article came from? Just so I can have a read of it, because I'm a bit old school. I do like to read up on stuff like that. Anthony Robinson said we need a big signing. Do we though? Need or want? That's the thing. He said I have a feeling we could get a surprise. I have that feeling as well, Anthony, but I don't know at this rate, mate, if it's more hope than actual belief. I think I've kind of started to prepare myself for no more signings in this window. And if anything that does come in, then it's a bonus. But I'm starting to prepare myself now that we may start next season with pretty much the squad we finished the one before. 539 people watching as we speak, which is brilliant. Thank you so much. Again, ladies and gents, we're really close to our next 100. So if you are watching and you do like the channel, please do hit that subscribe button. And of course, give us a thumbs up as well. Looks like the lads are having great fun over in the US, said Pranav. It's, it does. I mean, that's great because it just shows there's a good mentality in that squad and that the guys get on and that Jurgen Klopp has fostered a real sense of team and belief, and you've seen that last season in the performances. Absolutely class. Jim Beglin, Dean, that's a really good shout, mate. Jim Beglin's a very good shout for unfortunately his career ended, and he was before my time really, but his career ended a little bit too soon because of a knee injury. But Jim Beglin, very good footballer. Who'll get the boo first, Brucey or Solskjaer, says Rabadam. Steve Bruce. I mean, what the fuck? Like, seriously, like, what the fuck? You get rid of Rafael Benitez, and then Steve Bruce comes in, and now all of a sudden there's talk of a transfer budget of around 90 million quid, including from player sales that they've already brought in. But, like, what? Like, what on earth is going on there? Look, I'm going to be quite frank about this. If I'm a Newcastle fan and we lose Rafael Benitez and they bring in Steve Bruce, I'm going to lose my damn mind. I'm not going to lie about it. Like, Bruce is a football man, yes, but he's not a top level manager. What has he done of any significance to actually achieve something? So is Mike Ashley's entire goal here just to keep Newcastle in the Premier League? If that's the case, again, as a Newcastle fan, I ain't fucking happy. But I'm not a Newcastle fan, but I do feel sympathy for them. I really do. What else have we got? Steve Highway is another great show. Jones Nuff as well. Yeah, Steve Highway. Again, before my time really, so I never really got to watch him play. But I just loved Steve Finnan. I just really enjoyed his time with the club. We only need one if Klopp and the club think that we do, said Papandu. Virgil van Dijk favourite to win the Ballon d'Or. Yeah, we spoke about that a while ago, mate. It was neck and neck with him and Messi for a while, and then the bookies start putting him a little bit, well, obviously more money start going down on Van Dijk, and he now does seem to be the favourite, which is great. And if he does win it, it'll be very well deserved. Where is 60? It's still downstairs, to be honest. Yeah, it's still downstairs. I think Brewster will hit the ground running, natural talent, confident, and a goal scorer, said Dean Dixon. I'm glad. I'm so glad to see that everybody else is seeing that what we tried to... I say big him up. I tried to big him up without putting pressure on him, but now it's going to be hard to temper down any expectations after him scoring 3 in his first 2 games. And I hope that as the level of opposition steps up now in pre-season, we see his performance level step up as well, and him to be able to cope against the Sporting Lisbons, the Borussia Dortmunds, the Sevillas, the Lyons, and then hopefully he takes that into the season as well. I'm just checking through my notes on a couple of things in case I've missed something. Oh yes, there was some news around Daniel Sturridge. I'm not sure if you guys had seen this one now. As we know, Daniel Sturridge is no longer a Liverpool player. left on a free contract, and I'd seen links to him to, I think it was Besiktas at one time, but another club that are now rumoured to be interested in signing Daniel Sturridge are Inter Milan. Although they're very strongly linked with a move for Lukaku, it's believed they're also willing to take a gamble on Daniel Sturridge despite his injury record. Now, if you were to pick a league that would probably suit pace-wise now, Daniel Sturridge, outside of the MLS, the Italian league is probably the one I think a lot of us would go, yeah, that makes sense. Inter Milan, yeah, decent club, decent move there if that happens for Daniel Sturridge. And whatever does happen for Sturridge, I know he had huge injury problems here for a while, but I wish the guy nothing but the best, because at the club, he was in and around the club, he seemed like an absolute superstar, a legend, really nice guy, always helpful to the younger players, really positive on all the club's social media, and when he was fit and available, he is as good of a centre forward as you will see, and a natural finisher. So I wish him well for the remainder of his career wherever he goes. Where was there something about a massive head? Who was a massive head? If it's me, yes, you're right, but I couldn't remember who it was. Somebody there said massive head. I can't find. Oh, probably about Steve Bruce, actually, now that I think about it. He does have a fucking big head, to be fair. Bruce only went to Newcastle for the beer, said happily eggs. It was Papandu said he's got a massive head. I feel bad for the Newcastle fans, said Rabadam. It happened to us, we lost Rafa and got Roy Hodgson. I know, mate, gee, the dark days. But thankfully we came out the other side. Liam Granby's favourite Irish player played for Liverpool was John Aldridge, which is of course a good shout, and he's a really nice fella, is Aldo. I still feel bad for Rafa, said UK lad. Yeah, he deserves better, and I hope whenever he comes back from China or wherever his next club is, I hope he does get treated with the respect that he deserves. And I don't mean by the fans, because the Newcastle fans were fantastic towards Rafael Benitez. I'm talking about the ownership, of course. Steve Bruce is good for known. What's this? Is good for one known. It's him because of a broken nose job. I'd be firing the surgeon who did that bad nose job. Did he not get that fixed, actually? I thought he got that. No, I haven't. That shows you how much I paid attention to him. Can't we see more of Brewster? He's so quick, sharp. It's scary, said Andrew Gould. David Newell said, they said it's like going from eating a Michelin star restaurant at Rafa to eating uncooked chips with a burger van with Bruce. Yeah, it's almost like at times he's trying to take the piss, Mike Ashley, and just wind up the Newcastle fans. I remember hearing something like 12,000 people didn't renew their season tickets at St James's Park for next season, which is a massive amount of fans not to renew season tickets. Negeb reckons we should sign Ruben Neves. She's definitely a name that keeps popping up, mate, with Liverpool fans who, quite frankly, wants us to sign him badly. A lot of people. I've always been of the mindset that if we ever do sign Ruben Neves, it will be the end of Marco Grujić's future at Liverpool, because to have Ruben Neves there, to have Fabinho there, and we know Jurgen Klopp has said Lallana will be playing in the six at times this season, which still freaks the shit out of me, if I'm being honest. Yeah, there's a link, as I keep saying. Pepe Linder's coached them at Porto for 6 or 7 years, so there's definitely a link to Ruben Neves there. But Wolves are a club that I would think it would take a lot of money to get him out of there, because they're not short of a few quid, and of course they have that good Portuguese influence. Adam Park said Sturridge was my favourite out of Suarez and Sterling. Thank you, Jason Ward. I'll chat to you soon, mate. Would I class Sturridge as a Liverpool legend? Asked Scotty. No, I wouldn't, mate. I wouldn't class him as a Liverpool legend. I'd class him as a good player and a nice fella, but not a legend. Not for me, anyway. Connor Roach said, Craig, your channel's grown so much over the year, and you've gotten around 15,000 subs this year, and all you can say to that is fair play. Thank you, mate. I really appreciate it. I don't know how the fuck it's happened, Connor, because honestly, people hit me up all the time and they send an email and they'll go, any advice, or how did this happen? Honestly, I don't know is the answer. I feel like I'm still blagging this, and how it's happened, how we've gotten here, I don't know. But I tell you one thing, I'm grateful for it, and Connor's grateful for it, and we're going to keep blagging it until we get found out. But yeah, it's great fun. I'm enjoying it, and it's brought us some opportunities that I never thought I'd get in life. Like to be able to go over to Florida with Connor in September for a week and film stuff for the channel and meet supporters clubs. And I mean, that's just, we spoke at the very start about wanting life experiences from it, and that, you have to say, that is one that makes me very fucking proud to be able to say that we're doing that. Like, that is, it's great. But it's thanks to you guys and your continued support and your love and your input to the channel, because as I said, I'm not like other channels. I'm saying I here because I'm talking to the mic. I don't mean I. It's mine and Connor's channel. I'm not like a lot of other people that present, because Mark comes on and he's got his insightful thoughts on the United stand and he talks about United in his own way. Redman TV, they come on and they have their chats between the two guys or the group of people they have on there. Fantastic in-depth analysis. The Anfield Wrap, very same thing. Great group of lads. Great content. I just come on and read comments. Yeah, of course I give my insight when we watch games and stuff like that, but not as in depth as other people do. I just come on and have a laugh and make a show of myself from time to time and make fuck ups, and I'm probably a bit too open at times about my own life and stuff on here as well. But it's a community, and I keep saying that. I've said the word since day one. Community is so important, and I love what we have on here. I'm so humbled by the fact that we have people that watch every night, and yeah, it's fucking great. I love it. Your watch-alongs are great. That's why I said Pat. Yeah, and I can't wait to get back to doing them, mate. That's what I've missed most around this summer is the watch-alongs, because they're so much fun. I mean, you see me on here now and I'm a fairly placid, calm, relaxed fella who has a bit of a joke and takes the piss and doesn't take life too seriously. But when the football kicks off, something switches, and like most of you guys probably just hear screaming abuse at referees, and yeah, I enjoy it. So yeah, long may it last. And we will be here for the game Friday night and the Saturday morning as well. 1 a.m. start for the game against Borussia Dortmund, so I hope you can join us for that, guys, as well. The main thing in building a channel is consistency, said Rabadam, and we've definitely tried to do that, mate. Yeah. And you know, I don't really give myself credit for a lot of things, but being consistent in coming on and doing content is definitely something I will say that we've done. We do try to put stuff out there nearly every day, and if we say we're going to do something, then we try our best to do it, and that is a good piece of advice, mate. Yeah, and again, thank you for the super chat. There's no I in team, Craig, said Tom. Well, there is if you're Rapinoe or whatever your woman's name is from the American national team. She seems to like to hog a bit of the old limelight. I probably shouldn't have opened that can of worms, because I don't actually have much of an opinion on that whole scenario, to be fair. I just know that she divides opinion for a lot of people. Did you see Milner today? He's amazing, the pictures of him in training. 33 years of age. I actually showed me missus. I said, look at this. He's 33 and he is just chiseled. It's ridiculous. Joshua's here talking about some. I don't want to read this comment out because I'm trying to process it. See, I don't know if this is true or not, Joshua, or if you're on a wind-up, mate. So I'm going to read it out and I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. So he said, Craig, did you see that guy from the Football Terrace mention you yesterday in his video saying how you believed in what the rag, because I'm not even going to say their name, reported? Right. Firstly, I don't know if he said this or not, but I'm taking you at face value here. So if he said that, he can kiss my fucking hole. The guy is a fucking idiot. That's all I have to say about him. He's a fucking idiot. He opened up his mouth on Twitter. He got shouted down. He backed down. He is an idiot. That's all I have to say about Terry from the Football Terrace. Fuck Terry from the Football Terrace. That's my opinion on him. If he ever has anything to say to me, he can say it to my fucking face. Until then, he can shut the fuck up and continue making his content and going about his own little pathetic existence. But just keep your fucking mouth shut about me, is all I say to Terry, because you will get your chance to say your piece to me when I'm standing in front of you, mate. Until then, stop with your fucking lies. Stop acting like Billy Big Bollocks, because as I've said time and time again, there's one thing I will do is back up what I fucking say. So if Terry wants to tell lies about me, he better be prepared to say them to my fucking face. Other than that, fuck Terry, fuck the Football Terrace, fuck Manchester United, fuck their fans, except the ones that come in here, and of course Mr. Goldbridge that I quite like. But yeah, he can kiss my ass, honestly. If he wants to drop my name to try and get some people to view, then he can go fuck himself. He knows he's full of shit. What he's talking about is me saying that Rashford was demanding 250 grand a week. He tried to say that I took that from an article from The Rag, which I didn't. We showed him proof of where it came from. But if he is still spouting his shite, then what can I do about it? He is fucking irrelevant, is what I will say. And anybody that I know that watches thinks he's a dickhead. So, there you go. I don't know him, but he has started this, so he can kiss my fucking ass. And I look forward to the day when our paths cross, because he will get his opportunity. And let's see if he still has those big balls that he professes to have when I'm standing 6 inches from his face and he gets the chance to make those accusations towards me. Because we all know you don't say those things to a Liverpool fan about that particular fucking rag. Yeah, I mean, there you go. I mean, you probably wanted the reaction. You got the reaction. I've stayed away from talking about him because he's fucking irrelevant to me, to be honest. He isn't even in my hemisphere. I didn't even know about his channel until people came on saying, this fucking idiot said this, this and this. And I kept defending him. I kept saying, I don't know him. I can't talk about him. I've no right to talk about him. And then he started giving a Billy Big Bollocks about me on Twitter. And I called him out on it. And he backed off like a little bitch, because that's what he is a little bitch. Yeah, so there you go. And if he said that, if he didn't say that about me, then everything I've just said here is irrelevant, except for the fact of the Rashford stuff, which was all true. But if he did speak about me in my video, say that I pulled information from that rag, then fuck him, fuck his channel. And as I said, I look forward to the day our paths cross. What else have we got? Coming Norwich game, he'll be the front three. Well, it won't be Mane, but it looks of it, Dean, because Mane looks like he's going to be late back. The African Cup of Nations finals on Friday, I believe, and then he'll have his 3-week holiday. So yeah, he'll probably miss the start of the season. And Craig, the football terrorist, mentioned you badly in his video again. Fuck him, honestly. Yeah, as I said, our paths will cross, and I'll film it. When I go up to him, I'll fucking film standing in front of him and see if he has the balls when there's a camera on him to quote that to my face again. Because, yeah, him and his dying little piece of shit channel can fuck off. I'm not even going to see, it's not even going to get to a point now where we have a little fucking YouTube war, because he's fucking irrelevant. That's what I think of him and his channel. He professes to be a football finance expert that can't even get a fucking article right where I got Rashford from. So I'm fucked if I'm going to believe his knowledge about football, because quite frankly, I would say I've forgotten more about football than that fucking Amadon knows about football. So Terry, mate, if you're watching this, mention me on your channel again, spreading lies. Suck my nuts, pal. And I will say that 6 inches from your face. Unlike you to me, pal, because I guarantee you, you will scupper like a little bitch, you will hide on the other side of the room, or you will say, oh, I didn't say that, it was all a big misunderstanding, because people like you, mate, are just mouthy little bitches. I enjoyed this was fun, I needed to release this, because I've been too nice for too long, and you know that I like to have a little meltdown every now and again. But yeah, fuck him and his dying little shitty. I know it's bigger than our channel subscriber wise, but his numbers are horseshit. And if I was him, I'd quite frankly fucking pack it in. Because 1, your Twitter presence is shit. 2, from what I've heard, your channel is shit. So yeah, just give it up, mate. You're not good at this. This game isn't for you. Leave it to other people. Just fuck off into irrelevance and tell lies about somebody else somewhere else, mate. So again, go fuck yourself. And when you finish that, go fuck yourself again. Mino's inspirational for old guys like me, said Brace Devil. What else we got? The Leon friendly is very suspicious. Yes, originally that was for me, Neil, that was the Fekir thing, but people are saying maybe Maxwell Cornet now, or Uar, or no. See, Brian told me how to pronounce this the other day, and I've forgotten it already, Brian. So I do apologise, mate. Aor. I don't know. I can't pronounce his name, but you know who I'm trying to talk about. Football Terrace is a mank channel. No, he's a mank. He's a United fan, Lee. I don't even know what the channel is, because I've never watched a minute of his channel, because why would I? I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I just mean I didn't even know it fucking existed until somebody let me know about it. You said Coutinho news, yeah. Yeah, I I did say, sorry, I'm just trying to scroll back to the notes here for Coutinho. Steve Nicol, basically, it was me agreeing with Steve Nicol for once. He said that he believes Liverpool should go out and get Coutinho and bring him back in. And I think, do you know what? Maybe, why not? But yeah, that was about it really on the Coutinho thing. Hey Jace, how are you, buddy? Jess Roberts is in the house. If Mane has a 3-week holiday, we're talking about the 11th of August. He'll be back. No pre-season, straight back. Yeah, I've seen some people want him to have a shorter holiday, but for me, I want him to have his holiday because it's a long season ahead, and if he doesn't get his rest and recuperation, there's more chance of Mane picking up an injury. So I want him to get his 3 weeks. This fight is better than Ranson DT. There is no fight here because he is fucking insignificant. Not that I profess to be anything big or anything like that, but he's just trying to fucking say our name and my name to get a reaction to try and maybe save what seems to be, from what I can gather, a piece of shit dying channel. I don't know, and nor do I give a fuck. Yeah, I don't care. But as I said, whatever he says about me, he'll get his chance. He's put up thousands of like so-called signings videos. I don't think one of them is being right. Look, he seems to me, from what I can gather from what people have told me, somebody who professes to be a fucking know-all, but he seems to be a know-all that knows fuck all. That's what I've gathered from people that have told me that do watch the few pieces of shit nonsense that he puts out and lies and clickbait, and he pisses all over Liverpool and yada 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 yada. Whatever. I hope he sees this. I hope he gets all the clips. I hope they go fucking viral, and I hope he says, "Oh no," because I will bitch slap him in a boxing ring if I ever get the opportunity. I would say I do it outside of a boxing ring, but I don't profess violence, nor am I going to admit the violence in front of a fucking camera on YouTube. But he will get his chance. That's all I'm saying. He'll get his chance to say what he said to my fucking face, and I hope he has the balls to back up what he's been saying. But he won't, because he's a fucking piss merchant. Not to jinx it, but will we beat Norwich without Mane? I would say yes, mate. I would say yes. And I know you don't want to jinx that, but I would say we will. Even with just Firmino, say, even if Salah wasn't available, I still reckon we get it done. Sorry, I'm getting sent something now. Let me see. Ah, nice one. Perfect. Thank you for that, Connor. Let's make any LFC channels. Don't go the same way as Arsenal United channels. Fuck that, embarrassing, said Jay Kismet. Look, I don't want to comment on other channels. He says after commenting on it, but that was just because it was brought up. Yeah, look, I want Liverpool to do well, and I want the channel to do well, and I want all Liverpool channels to do well. All of them. The Redmen, the Anfield Rap, Drifty, everyone. I want everyone to do well. There's room for everybody to grow. I'm pretty sure Terry was a kickboxer. Fucking brilliant. Absolutely great. That won't save him, but yeah, that's great. Let him be a kickboxer. I'm a black belt in karaoke. Do you know what I mean? No, honestly, fuck Terry. As I said, he's irrelevant to me at this point. Let's just move past him. He's full of himself. He ridicules his fans. That's why his channel is dying. Yeah. And he's probably, as I said, he's probably just trying to get this going so his channel comes back into existence a little bit. But fuck him is all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say another word on it until I'm standing in front of him. So let's go. 3, 2, 1. End of that. What else we got? Should get Suarez in on loan. Play one game against Norwich. Yeah, banging 4. He must give them nightmares. Still to this day, he must have nightmares about them. I'd say, what was it, Ruddy? John Ruddy, I'd say, still goes to sleep at night dreaming about Suarez. Connor wrote, say, Craig, I've been watching your streams since 2 years ago and they've always been class. Thank you, Connor. I appreciate the support, mate. I really do. Imagine the scenes when we sign Mbappe next season, said Jack's page. Yeah, I mean, we've talked hashtag Mbappe 2020 before on the channel, mate, and I know that we've spoken about maybe it's a quiet window this year and something happens next year. I guess we're gonna have to wait and see. Connor, mate. Connor said I give it 4 minutes before he's ranting again. I promise I'm trying my best here to say nothing. I'm trying my best to keep it down, and I'm going to now because you've said that. You've given me a reason not to talk about it again. Rabadam has a black belt in eating crisps, cheese and onion. I'm right with you there, mate. I mean, I would say I've gone beyond the black belt in eating cheese and onion crisps now. I am the fucking Mr. Miyagi of cheese and onion crisp eating. I'd sacrifice this window and January if we sign Mbappe next year, said Yassar. Yeah, I mean, I wonder. I know. I think he wants to get out of Paris by the looks of it, and I don't know if he'll get it this summer because of what's happening with Neymar and him wanting to get out, but I don't know, it'll be interesting to see what does happen. I'd sacrifice this window for meant Mbappe. I've done that one. I have a black belt in my trouser loops, said Happily Eggs. Yeah, well, I'm at the point, mate, where I'm fat. We don't really, fat people like me don't need belts. Do you know what I mean? We just let our belly loop over the top of stuff. What else have we got? Let me just check my notes to see if I've forgotten anything. No, I think I've done everything in my notes. So it's about 10 minutes to go, ladies and gents. What do you want to talk about? This is your show, as always, so let me know. We're only a couple of people away from 18,300 as well, and I feel like I've been saying that for ages, but please do hit that subscribe button if you've enjoyed the rant or if you've enjoyed the rest of the stream tonight. What day is tomorrow? Tomorrow is Thursday, so tomorrow should be back with a late night agenda tomorrow. I think that's the plan, but bear with me. I don't want to promise you that's something and not deliver, but I think hopefully tomorrow we should be back with a late night agenda. What do I think about Shaqiri? I think we should get rid of him. He doesn't offer anything defensively and Klopp doesn't seem to favour him even in rotation. Yeah, as I said, there was some stuff came from an ESPN journalist, I believe, that said that Klopp fell out with Shaqiri, but I've got no proof of that other than what that person said. I don't rate him highly enough to be a serious contender in our squad. He does have a great delivery. I mean, the ball that he put in for Gini's header against Barca was exquisite. But other than that, I just don't know if he's consistent enough. For 13.5 million, it was definitely worth a punt. But I think even if you were to move him on now, you'd make a nice tidy profit on him. But he's not moving on. I think he'll definitely be here. Sean Bailey said thoughts on Trippier. I mean, I don't rate him that much as a footballer, but you've got to tip your hat to him when making that move to Atletico and taking his chances in Spain, and fair play to him. I think more English and British players moving abroad will only ever benefit their national teams when they get different styles of football under their belt and more experiences like that. So yeah, fair play to Kieran Trippier for making the move. Lallana is deep line midfielder. Could this be a Klopp masterstroke? I think, well, I'm not sure if it was Connor or Brian suggested to me that, I think it might have been Connor, that Lallana in that position when we're dictating possession against teams could be a masterstroke because he can move the ball quickly. For me, I just don't want him having to be timing interceptions, making tackles, and I don't want to see him doing Cruyff turns halfway inside our half. It does make me a little bit nervous, but I suppose you gotta trust the gaffer. Is there a show called the Anfield Rant anywhere? If not, get that trademark, Craig. It's been a while, mate, since I've had a rant. I've been a very, very good boy for a very long time. And anybody who knows this channel will, and Connor, this doesn't count by the way, will know that I never go looking for a row. I never call out other people and I never go looking for an argument. I only ever react on something if somebody comes and has a go, and I let that other stuff go. I had my say in it and I let it go, and if that other person is talking on their videos, then what can I do about it other than, as I said, move on and leave it to bed. But yeah, I do like a rant, Jason, now and again, I'm not going to lie. What else we got? Which left back would you get if you had to choose? Tierney, Firpo. See, Firpo isn't really a left back as such. He's a wing back, which I suppose in our system is almost what we use. I'll probably say Tierney, because I've seen a little bit more of him. But he does look like 25 million is a figure Celtic will take from. It's just a matter of can they structure the deal well enough with Arsenal. I think they wanted more money up front from Arsenal. You're as good as gold, mate. Rant away, said Jace. I love a rant though, Jace. Do you know what I mean? I do like releasing from time to time. It's good to vent. Are Are you getting Mark on the channel before the season starts? Yes, I believe so. I haven't chatted to Mark in a... Well, I wish him congratulations today on hitting 500,000. And we had a brief exchange in DMs. But yeah, I think the plan is when I come home from holidays to hopefully get Mark on closer to the start of the season and have a chat about the transfer window and what his thoughts are on United and of course his thoughts on Liverpool and just the season as a whole. So yeah, that is the plan, to get him on before we start. A new bite-sized segment, Craig's best rants. Jesus, I don't know if that could be bite-sized, mate. Particularly if you go back to the start of the channel, there was a lot more ranting. Next match, Friday night, 1am. Yes, it's Friday night, Lee, into Saturday morning. It's really weird because you've got to say that because sometimes people will, get the timings wrong. It is technically Saturday morning, but let's say Friday night, 1am against Borussia Dortmund. And we will, of course, be doing a watch-along of that on the channel. Is Liverpool getting Coutinho back? I don't know, Keith Riggs, mate, is the honest answer. I guess we're just going to have to wait and see how this one pans out. Your name isn't blue anymore. What? My name isn't blue. Oh, that's a Brian Morrissey question, mate, not a Craig question. Lallana doesn't need to spread the ball. We have other players that can do that. Yes, we do. Well, then, if he doesn't do that in the sixth, though, Mark Anthony, what is the point in having him there? I'm wondering. Unless, of course, I'm missing something obvious. If he's going to play in a Regista style, Xabi Alonso-esque type role, you want him to be moving the ball. Even if it's Jorginho-esque and those short little passes, you just want him to keep the play moving and taking over. Joanne Fisher said, I like you being impassioned, Craig. Look, there's a few things in life that wind me up, and people attacking me, my family, my friends, or people just spreading false truths, that shit does my fucking head in. As I said, somebody told me before, if somebody's attacking you with a half-truth, then just annihilate them with the full truth. And that whole issue, the reason why all of this shit started was because somebody just fucking blatantly lied and got called on it and just can't accept that he was wrong. And that tells you more about the person, that he just can't put his hands up. I've fucked up so many times on this channel and put my hands up and said, you know what, I was wrong. But some people are just too pig-headed and ignorant to admit when they've made a mistake, and therein lies the difference, I think, and it says a lot more about somebody else than it does about me. Right, what else we got? Is Liverpool's third jersey released? Not yet, Mark, I don't think. And I've been keeping an eye as well to see when it does get officially released, because usually when the professional images of it start breaking, it isn't too long afterwards, and it's been about maybe 4, 5, 6 days since we've seen the professional images of the kit be released or leaked, so I don't know is the honest answer. Please can you stay the extra 10 minutes, the show must go on, said Man with the Plan. I'm quite tired, buddy, because I've been on since 8 o'clock. I know the stuff with Anthony didn't work out, but we were recording and we were doing stuff, and I'm pretty fucking tired as well, to be honest. It's about admitting when you fucked up. Exactly. We all make mistakes. And that's the thing about a fan channel, is we are just that. We're fan channels. We don't profess to be experts. We're just people that have an opinion as fans about football. And that's alright. And we will always make mistakes. And I will make many, many more as this channel goes on. Papandu said, Craig, what would you want to win more, the Community Shield or the European Super Cup? The Super Cup, definitely for me, buddy, without a shadow of a doubt. If we could add the World Club Championship or the World Club Cup, whatever it's called, into that, then that, because we've never won that trophy before. Jace Roberts said, Klopp said something about Lallana being used in the 6 in the right games when we're in control, not to be called a DM as that's not the role, but keeping fit is the first challenge. Perfect. I'm glad that Jace has put that into a much more palatable couple of sentences there. As I said, this is why I love the likes of Jace, and this is why I love our subscribers, because you guys teach me stuff every day. It's the new away kit with the Premier League patch and Trent Alexander-Arnold on the back, said Adam Parks, or you got the new away kit with Trent on the back. Nice choice, mate, of name on the back, well in. I can't really wear white, it doesn't really suit me, so I know I have the German shirt and that, but usually I don't wear white. But my little dude got the away kit and it looks smart on him. I found out the other day that Cisse is still knocking about and hasn't retired. I actually got a chance to meet Jibril Cisse. I was doing some stuff, a bit of work with 5 Times promoting an Irish event before, and I got to speak to Cisse, Luis Garcia, Didi Hamann and Vladimir Smitser, and Cisse is a very nice guy. They were all nice guys, but Cisse was a nice guy. Question for everybody: what was the first Liverpool shirt you wore as a kid? For me, it was the 89-90 grey candy shirt with the fleck. That was my first Liverpool shirt. I got it for my birthday when I was 8, I think. Tom Boland said, nobody's perfect, mistakes happen, trick is you can fix them, especially before the boss sees them. Yeah, I have to do that sometimes with Connor, because if I don't hide my mistakes, sometimes Connor sees them and he gives out to me. The silver candy kit for Lens-Based Media. Hope Sabrina and Lucas are feeling better. They are, thank you very much, Crosby Red. The vomiting bug was going around my house, and luckily I didn't get it. I mean, touch wood, I didn't get it, but yeah, they seem to be getting on a lot better, thank you. Scotty said, my tickets arrived yesterday for Liverpool versus Napoli at Edinburgh. Nice one. Well in, mate. I hope you enjoy it. I was myself and Connor at the Aviva last year when we played Napoli, and I think it was 4-0. And my memory's shocking. I think it was 4-0. But yeah, you'll enjoy it. Mine was the yellow away strip with Crown Paint, said Dave93. And John Cable said, can't remember the year, but my first Liverpool kit or top I got Crown Paints on it. Must have been around 8 or 9 at the time, probably 80, 81. Yeah, we've had some really great kits over the years. I mean, some of the old Adidas Crown Paints candy kits are absolute quality. Even going a bit further back, some of the Umbro kits were really good as well. So glad the bug's out of the house, poor Sabrina and poor Lucas. At least they got it out of the way before holidays, Dave, which is always a good thing. It was 5-0, was it? So there you go. Just talking about mistake. I put my hands up. I made a mistake. I remember in that game there was I think Napoli should have had a penalty or something, or there was a really iffy decision as well. The referee was very pro Liverpool that day. Joshua Pritchard said, Craig, from 9 minutes 10 seconds onwards for about 10 seconds. This is Menson's video. I don't care. Honestly, I'm past it now, Joshua. We've moved on from that. Let him have his 10-second mention of his lies, but we'll move on. We'll put it to bed. I'm not even going to mention that. Even if he comes out and does a fucking 2-hour video, I'm not talking about that dickhead anymore. Finished. Done. He's not worth my time. Leave him in his land and I'll carry on over here in my land, and we'll just go and do what we're doing. First time watching, great show, said Keith Campbell. Thank you, Keith. I really appreciate you watching, mate, and I'm really glad that you enjoyed it. I hope you come back and give us another try. Has the World Club Championship been drawn yet? I don't know. Liam is the honest answer, mate. I haven't seen a draw for it. I know Liverpool will go into it at the semi-final stages, which the European champions, which 6 of them motherfuckers always do go in at the semi-final stage. And I know from, I think next year they're revamping it. Can you have a word about the Huddersfield kit? We touched on it earlier on, Anthony. It has to be a piss take. There's no way that I think that the Football League regulations will allow Huddersfield to play with that size of a sponsor's logo on their kit. I remember somebody posted, and I'd love to be able to give the person credit, but I genuinely can't remember who it was. They posted the dimensions for what is allowed for sponsors' logos, and that far exceeds them. So I would imagine that is a pre-season piss take, that they will be the sponsor, but that they won't be that big. There's no way they're going to have it like a sash from corner to corner. That's just madness. And if anyone watching isn't sure what we're talking about, just have a Google or just check Huddersfield's accounts, and you'll see this mad kit with a big Paddy Power logo, like what would you call it? A hen or stag do sash, or a beauty queen sash, or Miss World, or whatever you want to call it. What Liverpool third kit? If you're talking about what one are we talking about being released, mate, it's a black one with teal, I think is the colour, teal patches on it. It's really hard to describe the kit, actually. Tommy Edge said Coutinho made a mistake. He knows that. We all make mistakes in life. He played his time out very well before he left. Taking him back would be a good move for everybody at the club. Liam said, I've just seen a picture, mate. If I had a team and I hadn't heard of going with a badge, yeah, it's weird. Yeah, alright. Cheers for that, Liam. Right, is there anything else, ladies and gents, or will we call that a night? I have managed to not rant again, Connor, so I think I win that little duel. Used to admire Barca and they never had a sponsor on their kit. Yeah, then they went and they had what was the charity that they had on their kit for years as well. Somebody will put it in the chat to save my ass here. They used to have, who was the charity that UNICEF, was it? I think it was UNICEF Barca used to have on their kit for a few years as well, but I suppose like anything, it was UNICEF, brilliant, thank you. Like anything else, times catch up and there's an opportunity there to bring in money, and when football is as competitive as it is, yeah, you can't really blame them for turning back and putting a sponsor on their kit. Right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to call that a night, and I will chat to you one way or the other tomorrow. I'm hoping to do a live stream, so keep an eye out in the notifications, and if you haven't got the notifications turned on, then please do turn them on. And as always, I hope you've enjoyed tonight's stream. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do so and give us a thumbs up, and I will chat to you wonderful people soon. Take care of your families, tell your loved ones that you love them. Thank you for watching, and up the motherfucking Reds.